Hey, take a look. Hey, take a look. Hey, take a look.
You be tricking me. I just hello. Sorry, y'all. Thought I was being heard. I am not being heard. Now y'all can hear me. Well, all of that talk that I was talking. Oh. Tanya gave you a good shout out. Missed it. Man, it was a good shout out. One of the things I did say is that it's you, Chef Trade. Hopefully, you all got your TPs and not trying to hold on and get caught up in this. If you took the long ride, you may be getting caught up in this here. But after my lookout hits, then I will be coming out. So looking at you, Jay, right now. It's looking pretty strong to keep pushing to the upside. A little pullback could be happening here, but surprisingly, USD is pushing this market up, as we see. JPY is not letting go that easy. A lot of consolidation going on. Go over here in CAD, see what they have jumping off. A lot of consolidation with CAD. We just kind of see it's bouncing up and down between this section here. AUD, USD is pushing market down. Like that, trying to hold it. So if you're rolling on with the system, you'll be able to see where we're at. If we get a break, below trampoline, we'll be able to drop this thing right into position. But it's been consolidating where it's at here for some time now, a couple of weeks, just going back and forth. NZD USD. Same thing with NZD USD, just bouncing back and forth, just looking at to push up some more. Like, and you can run this up, but overall we are in a seller's territory. Let's take a look at EU. Dropping it like it's hot. I think as well, even here EU could continue to push down, continue to drop. Just keep an eye on that. Overall, like the higher time frames, we are in an uptrend, but everything else is pushing down. See what NJ is talking about. Pushing up, nice little pullback, dropping off. I'm sure this is looking the same. Yep, looking the same. I see. Probably gonna have the same look from CAD JPY. Very similar. Very semi. $14 to open the bell. Like to see this candle close and push up this way, giving some wick down at the bottom. If that happens, this could be buying opportunity right here. So GU, just you can see the consolidation. It's looking like an EKG. Let's see. GCash should probably be looking about the same, or probably a little wick in there with action. This is it here. Boom. Just, yeah, all that consolidation just there. So when you see this, you've got banks stacking up orders, just waiting to make their move. And a lot of traders are rushing just to jump into the market. So we'll see if stuff starts to happen at open bell. And then last but not least, let's check out ECAD. Drop. Boom. This could be the nice little fake out. We see consolidation, drop out. Could come right back in or continue to drop. So just want y'all to see like all of this consolidation, which is just showing that those big prop firms and banks, they are stacking up orders. And you don't want to just be rushing in. So
What if you quit sugar? That means no soda, no cereal, even no bread for 30 days. I know, this is sort of like telling a New Yorker to quit complaining about the mass transit. It's not easy. There are a lot of challenges there. But let's see how far we can get. Before we start, though, I may have said something that confused you. I said sugars, and then I talked about bread. What are we talking about here? Sugar is in processed foods, glucose, fructose, sucrose, but it's also in grains, ultra-processed grains. So in the sodas, you get one of the purest exposures of high fructose corn syrup. Cereal is ultra-processed grains with sugar on top. And then breads, again, ultra-processed grains. So this is more than just free sugars. Free sugars are things like honey, fruit juices, syrups. And you hear it once, you hear it 1,000 times, people saying, well, I do a healthy alternative. I do agave nectar or maple syrup. These things, they're the sap of a plant. And you may say, well, a sap of a plant is healthy. What do you think pure cane sugar is? It's the sap of a sugar cane. And again, that sugar has done tons and tons of damage to us. Any carb with a glycemic load of 10 or more. Now, wait a minute. I got a little bit geeky there with that big term glycemic load. It just means, break it down. It just means glucose in the blood, something that raises your blood sugar. And that's what we want to be getting rid of. Anything that loads your blood sugar, raises your blood sugar quickly. Now, here, just take a look at this chart. It's from our friend, Mario Krat. He came on board with us a couple of times to talk about different things related to blood sugar. Any carb that raises blood sugar, and anytime you go over 140 and stay there, and for you geeks, that's 140 milligrams per deciliter. Anytime you stay over 140, you're starting to put your arteries in danger. You're starting to look at things like glucose intolerance, prediabetes, metabolic disease. The last warning before we start. If you are way deep into the SAD diet, SAD, standard American diet, like Augusto Gloop.
Grandpa, look at Augustus.
Don't worry, he can't drink it all.
Augustus.
Brog Trotter in Matilda. You might not want to go quite totally sugar-free. You might want to take it in steps. Maybe start with the free sugars and then go with the carbs, the ultra-processed carbs. But as you can see,
Hey, take a look.
it's really clear in our cultural
take a
icons,
look.
our movies, that people understand the problems associated with addictions to sugar. Now, let's get started. So day one, what does it look like? What does it feel like? After 24 hours, you're very likely to feel nothing. Just from stopping those things, quite often you don't feel anything unless you're in full addiction, sugar addiction mode. And quite often, even those folks can get beyond that first day. But it's days 2 and 3 that are going to be rocky. Day 2 starts with some challenge. You start getting some of those cravings. Your blood glucose starts going down. You're starting to live on glycogen, and you're just not ready to do that yet. You may even get headaches, irritability, bloating, even some mild diarrhea. And a lot of that's associated with some of the hormones that our body is starting to kick into gear. hormones associated with stress like cortisol, even epinephrine and adrenaline. And again, this is just day 2, and it can get worse. It usually does on day 3. Cravings increase. Your body starts using fat and protein. Starts, hopefully, and it's not quite ready, so you'll feel fatigued before you get there. You may even feel nausea, again, from those hormones that are starting to drive this stress reaction from going cold turkey on an addiction and having to pull calories and energy out of sources that you've never pulled before. This is called the keto flu. Your body's trying to adapt to another energy source. You see, our bodies are like those hybrid engines. Hybrid engines in cars usually use gas or electrical energy. We can pull energy from carbs and fat and protein. Our preferred source, our easiest source by our body's perspective, is carbs, because it wants to get those carbs out of there, because carbs cause danger to our arteries. So that's why it's set up to burn those carbs first. You know, it's like waiting for a train or a bus. You can get exhausted, cranky, wondering why it hasn't shown up yet. Except instead of waiting for the train, you're waiting for your sugar bump. Your body's saying, hey, wait a minute. Where's that sugar? We usually get a lot of sugar here, and we're not getting it now. We're going to have to work hard. And here's a spoiler. That train may arrive and the bus may not, but let's hope that you can be strong and that sugar does not arrive. This is when most people quit, give in to their cravings, day 2 or day 3. But if you can make it past day 1, you can make it past another day. And guess what? If you can make it past 2 days, you can clearly make it past that 3rd day. And here's what happens. Once you get to days 4 and 5, yes, you can still have some problems.
All right, I'm gonna just check and see. I just want to kind of see what's going to happen. We got 2 more minutes for open bell. See if the market's going to start moving. If it does, then we go in and make a move. If it doesn't, we just sit back and wait. We can expect this when there's not a lot of volatility in the news, in the market like news. Okay, so I could put this on the chart just to see what we're looking like here. Let me see. I don't know why this is so slow on this setting. And but on my other screens, it moves so fast. Still loading up. All right, here we go. We got 1 minute into the opening of the bell. Easy way of doing this is to come in and like I'm doing now. Just kind of look at how things are. So we see that mostly everything that we have is in an uptrend. So if we know the market is pushing up, then we look for buys. Just using our system here. Boom. Put this into place here. If we don't get a break of this line, then we know not to take the trade. So we wait for a break above this line, we get in, boom. And we're gonna put in this GBP AUD. Entry is going to be 2.63. 35, what is that? 63.59. $2.06359 is my entry. Then my take profit is going to be 2.06467.
Hey, take a look. Hey, take a look. Hey, take a look.
but your body begins to adapt. Some people still feel some fatigue, cravings, and even irritability, but it's just not as bad. There's a psychological component too. You've begun to realize, I can break this thing. Due to the addictive nature of glucose and fructose, you do have withdrawal symptoms, but you're beginning to see those in the rear view mirror. These addictions are admittedly not as bad as what you usually see with things like nicotine, like alcohol, like some other drugs or substances, but they're there and they make a big difference. Most of us have some degree of sugar addiction. We just do. And if you don't believe that, take a look at some of the science, some of the literature, some of the evidence around the impact on the reward nucleus of the brain. We actually trip the reward nucleus of the brain. You'll hear it discussed as getting a dopamine fix. Sugar and sweets actually create dopamine release in our brain. Now, let's get back to the days. You're now at days 6 and 7, and you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe it's like somebody's waving a magic wand. Your body's begun to adjust to fat and protein as energy. Now, I'll admit, it's really clear. There is science and evidence showing that some people that have really full livers, really big livers, full of glycogen, may be burning on that glycogen for up to 30 days. But that doesn't mean that your body has not started to kick in with some of that fat burning. You start to see improvements in your skin, less inflammation, more natural brightness, and you actually start to look younger. Acne, psoriasis, even skin cancers, they don't do as well in a no-sugar environment. Here are some of the more important and more noticed benefits of quitting sugar. By days 7 to 20, people start saying, you look thinner. You have to get some new pants or maybe pull those pants up a little bit tighter. Be mindful, though. Calories do matter. I hate to say that, and most people I'll get banged on and criticized for saying it, but at the end of the day, they do. I think it's a little bit too early, days 7 through 20, to start worrying about calories. We just want to get beyond the sugar addiction. But just be aware, especially if you're not losing weight already and you want to, that at some point you're going to need to start looking at your portions. But that's something to get beyond. That's a different issue. That's a habit. That's a food habit. That's a portion habit. Let's deal with that after the addiction, the sugar addiction. One of the healthiest benefits, probably the healthiest and clearly the healthiest in my mind, is burning belly fat. And I'm not talking about sub-Q fat, the fat right under your skin, that gut that's hanging over there. I'm talking about visceral fat. Both are important, but visceral fat is by far the most important. What that means is it's fat next to the viscera. In other words, the organs. There's fat inside your belly. When that fat is there, it increases inflammation, cardiovascular inflammation, and it increases what we call resistin. It increases a hormone that our fat cells release that creates insulin resistance, that creates metabolic disease, that creates the biggest risk for heart attack, stroke, blindness, kidney disease, and erectile dysfunction. Now, how much visceral fat should you have, or belly fat? It really should be between a half a pound, certainly less than 2 pounds. Mine, by the way, many people ask, mine varies between half a pound to 1.5 pounds. We've got plenty of patients with 4 pounds and more. Now, how do you decrease that? These things like high-intensity interval work, some folks like Sean O'Mara will talk about hill sprints, all of those can help, but nothing replaces the impact of a diet.
Attention.
And specifically, number one, getting rid of sugar, getting rid of sugars, plural, those things that raise your blood sugar. The free sugars like fructose, the free sugars like sucrose and glucose, and especially ultra-processed grain products. Now, this visceral fat, it's between your organs, and it's very effective at creating metabolic disease, which is what we're trying to get rid of. Now, I mentioned that my visceral fat goes between 1/2 pound and 1.5 pounds. How did I know that? Well, I had a thing called a DEXA scan. Many people are familiar with DEXA scans as something that helps you understand your bone density. Well, it can also help you understand the density of other tissues like muscle and fat. So if you haven't had one and you're wondering about it, nothing else will tell you that besides a body composition DEXA scan. Now, you can get some really good pictures. For example, you can get an MRI, an abdominal MRI, and that will show you, you'll get a better picture with that, but you just won't get a number. So take your pick, choose one or the other, but start focusing on that visceral fat. Additional benefits, back to those days 7 through 20 of stopping sugar. Additional benefits that you can rely on would be, number one, mental clarity, increased focus, better memory, less irritability, feeling happier. At this point, you realize there's sugar everywhere. You have to start being creative compared to what you used to do in order to just eat and still avoid things that raise your blood sugar. Sugar's in cereal, it's in soda, and guess what? Even in bread. So that thing called a sandwich that everybody likes to have for lunch, have the sandwich, but just don't have the bread. What about those healthy granola bars? That's called stealth carbs. Things like granola bars that you think are going to be healthy. What about that breakfast with healthy Greek yogurt? So many Greek yogurts are just full of those stealth carbs, carbs that you just didn't know were in there, but they're raising your blood sugar. Trying to avoid sugars in a processed big food world is sort of like trying to avoid pigeons or rats in Central Park.
If you want to build an app and have
Grand Rising, what's going on, Daryl? Pod to the Piper is in here pipping. All right. So just a little, on sugar. There's some more to this video. I'll get to that and I'll play it. But we'll be surprised at what kind of damage sugar does to the body. When you start looking into it, it's really crazy. Really crazy. But it's an addiction that they even compare to like heroin or crack. So, which is crazy. Can you imagine that? You felt yourself, craving something sweet, really wanted it and had to have it. It's like, I need it. Need my sugar fix. So, I know one thing for sure. I have been there, my friend. I have been there, my friend. But I want to get into this word today, get into this scripture. October 21st, we're talking about Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. 3, 5, and 6. Let me get that up on the screen, please. Shout out to my tech team. Thank y'all. Shout out to Sunshine in the building over there, showing them cheeks off. She over there cheeking this morning. Me, she's smiling. All right, Proverbs Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And in not, it doesn't say in some of your ways, but in all of your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. And you see this guy kneeling down right before the winding road because he see it coming. He already knows. So let me just go ahead and get in position, right? So imagine you're hiking, right, in a very thick forest. Something that you might see on some hobbits. Them hobbits, they be in the real big, deep, thick forest, right? So we out there with them, Lord of the Rings. And here we are, just to paint a picture. But you were the expert tour guide. Expert. This is what he does. Okay. And you come to this fork in the path, and the trail to the left looks real easy. Like, you can see there's no grass, there's a nice little pathway here. Like, hey, no problem. Let's take this way. It's flat, it's clear. But the trail to the right is kind of rocky and steep. You like, man, one good slip and I'm messed up.
Hey, hey, take a look. Take a look. Hey, hey, take a look.
And it
Take a
goes
look.
through
Hey, take a
it's
look.
kind of dark, it's real woody. You can't really see that good because the trees and stuff are all in the way. Like your own understanding will tell
Hey,
you
take
to
a look.
go to the left where it's clear and looks real nice. But the tour guide, right, who has the map, and he has walked this trail hundreds of times, tells you, hey, hey, no, we must go to the right. This guy knows the path. Ahead is easier. And it actually leads, this one that looks easy, right, to you, he knows that it actually leads to a dangerous swamp full of snakes, moccasins, alligators, crocodiles, whatever be over in them kind of waters. You know what I'm talking about? So the path that looks hard, it's it's the one that leads you to this beautiful hidden waterfall. To get to the right place sometimes in life, you have to trust the guide more than what you can see and more than what it looks like. The word says, lean not on your own understanding. So God is our guide. To live your life by faith and not by sight. It's another good passage that kind of goes with this, but this verse is telling us to trust him with all of our heart, even when the path ahead doesn't seem to be right. That's in the Bible. He is leading us. Sometimes, it's not going to make sense. It doesn't look right using our own understanding. But when we follow him and put him first in all your choices that you make, his promise is to be our God. Okay? So let us pray, God, 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 Father God. I declare and I say that you are my God. You are my tour guide through life. And I know you can see the whole map because you've created it. You know what is coming ahead. Help me to trust you with all my heart and not just lean on what I think is best or what I see. And all my choices today, starting today, I'm going to try my best to put everything in your hands, big and small. I want to follow you, so please make my path straight and lead me to a good place. In your holy name, I pray. Amen. Bell's rocking and ringing. Let's see what's going on. All right. All right. Y'all see it? Ooh, right there at the TP for GA. Right there. Ooh, watch him. All right. And I live my life, and I trade the same way. I don't sit and watch my trades. I put it in God's hands, and TP comes, it comes. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And I'll just wait until the next opportunity presents itself. Okay. I'm gonna play what's left of this, or some more of this video. And if you find this to be something that you like and you would like to hear more of it, then just let me know and I don't mind sharing the link. All right. Well, there's a TP for you if you like that. There's a TP
Attention.
for you if you like that. Let's go.
You know what happens. You'll become a food expert, a food label expert, compared to what
Attention.
you were before. And then you'll begin to see things like maltodextrin, or other things where it's clear that big food is just trying to deceive you when really what they've got is sugar in there, preserving that food and making it very, very addictive. When you reach days 21 to 30, there are even more changes. If you've been completely disciplined on this sugar journey, you've become fat adapted, pretty much. Now, again, even for folks that are obese and are still burning glycogen out of that liver, you have gone a long ways to where you need to be. Cravings are greatly decreased if they're there at all. You've got more energy. Your skin looks younger. You look better. You're thinking better. You're performing better. Your biomarkers improve. Glucose, triglycerides, HDL. Your fractionation
I see that
improves.
to you,
And
Jay.
again, I
I
may
see
be
it, Tony.
getting a little bit medical geeky here. We can describe those a little bit later if you have interest. Just make the comment in the on the video and we can do. Even LDL usually improves when you drop sugar. Now, there are some people that it actually goes the other way, and it's not a bad thing, but we're not going to go there. We talk about that a lot on our channel, and that's not for this video. If you have interest in lean mass hyperresponders, just Google our channel name, Ford Brewer, YouTube, lean mass hyperresponder. You'll see plenty of content about that group of folks. If you've had dental issues, mouth issues, you're likely to
Hey,
see significant
take a
improvement
look.
because the biggest issues around teeth and what we call periodontal disease or gum disease, also, guess what they revolve around? Diabetes, prediabetes, metabolic disease. The number one cause of mouth disease is
Hey,
metabolic
look.
disease, prediabetes. Do you ever have bleeding when you go to the dentist? You should consider that as metabolic disease or prediabetes or even diabetes until you can actually prove it otherwise
Hey,
with an oral
take a
glucose
look.
tolerance test and insulin response. Again, geeky words, you don't have to remember those. Just make a comment in under the video and we can explain those if you're interested. Some people talk about joint pain. It's like, I didn't expect this. I have arthritis. My arthritis has gone away. I feel better. What's that all about? Again, inflammation. Not only just the inflammation from metabolic disease, which happens. You think about gout, for example. Gout and uric acid. These things are very much associated. Uric acid is also very much associated with, guess what? Fructose. The old primary care doctors, the old country docs used to see gout happen when people would ship oranges right before Christmas or tangerines, and they'd eat way too many tangerines. Their gout would act up. Why? Because fructose and uric acid are very much related. And guess what? like I said, it's not just fructose that's related to uric acid and gout. All the sugars are very much related to autoimmune diseases and arthritis type diseases. So again, you'll begin to start feeling better in terms of that arthritis. As I just said a minute ago, you might not have picked it up. Quitting sugar improves autoimmune disease. Therefore, it can also improve gut health. But even other ways, not autoimmune disease, result in improved gut health as well. You see, the bad bacteria in your gut live on sugars. If you're not eating sugars, the bad bacteria have a hard time living, and then you end up replacing those with good bacteria. So again, yet another benefit of going without sugar. Another benefit, it's a pro and a con. You might have to buy some new pants, new belts, a new wardrobe. But you know what? Overall, that's a good thing too. Now let's.
You know, with all this being said and hearing what he said, just kind of makes me think about that meeting that we had Sunday. Sunday. Tanya, are you thinking about um, deworming? What do you think about that? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. I think I'm gonna send you. I've got something I'm gonna send you. If you are, let me know. So just kind of looking into it and talking and doing research on deworming. Yeah, I hear that is serious. This is some serious stuff. You could drop me some over in Telegram if you want to. I'm gonna go over there and send you something. Yeah, you are. Okay. All right, cool. So I'm gonna send you something. Would you rather for me to text it to you or I just send it to you in Telegram? I'm already here.
Hey, take a look. Hey, take a look.
So, and I advise you to do the
Hey,
same is,
take a look.
check. And I don't know if you even signed up with them or with us because I'm a part as well. But I'm dropping you this flyer so you could, feel free to share this with like-minded individuals or people that you know that, would like to make some changes and like to start to eat to improve the way that they feel. You know. So this is going to be for the pinworm and serious. So I guess that's it for today. It's nice show. We got a TPN. So I always like to see that. It's always good to have. So you good to go. I got you. I sent you the information. I think the website should be on there as well. If it's not, let me know and I can send that to you too. If you need to sign up to be able to get, to be notified when we have things in the future. Let me know. So, that being said, um, okay, got you signed up. Cool then. Cool. It's good stuff. I'm gonna get up out of here, and if the good Lord says the same, I will see y'all mañana, tomorrow. All right. Remember, let go, let God. Keep them first. Let them make your path straight.